We're not going to fight against him. We'll address him and advise him. So we are saying today, we stand by the truth. All those people that are fighting against Biafra, why they are in IPOB, whether you're under security, whether you're in IPOB, whether you're under the elders, whichever way you are, to go to Gadiama. Brunya Patwana, and now to go to Gadiama. You look for Boyan, and now to go to Gadiama. Would you take care of Habatibuquayo? I don't have Tibuquayo. Please be about Tibuquayo. About Tibuquayo.
Must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
Sorry. I didn't know my mic was muted. So I welcome every one of you. You are all welcome. Welcome in the name of God. Ochuku Kiki Abiama. I welcome every one of us this wonderful evening. Anywhere you are watching us from, you are all welcome. I welcome you in the name of God Almighty. Thank you for coming this evening. As I wish, this supposed to be a joint broadcast, but my comrades, I don't know, one engagement or the other, one meeting or the other. Even our PM supposed to be live by now, but due to the same one engagement here, one engagement there, things have not been easy. But whatever happens, we move. We know they continue. We move. In any situation, every circumstance, we move. Now we be Biafrans. So today, we will look into one thing. There are so many things to talk about. I wish time would permit me. I just enter house this evening. I don't get time today. I know even though, okay, as you see me, so my nose my nostrils are blocked. As they see me, so you will notice I know the talk fine. So, like I said, I welcome every one of us. So, once again, this evening, you may have seen the audio or seen the video flying up and down how the so called Igbos are fighting to kill us. They are now inviting the North. They now gather together, have their meetings, fight, contribute money, the same money we are looking for to save us, to save everyone, including them. And they say they don't have this money. They are now contributing millions just to give to North, for the Northerners to bring their army to come and kill Biafrans. It's for you to see how foolish these people are. Just for you to understand that their foolishness no get level wey reach. Their foolishness dey like bottomless pit. I dey tell you the truth. Without wasting too much time, we must continue to do the needful. We must do the needful, and we must continue. And as we move on, we will be. I think we will be in a bit hurry so that you will be able to see or hear or share, so that everybody will be able to share their experience, their thought, their imagination this very evening. So you are all welcome once again. I want us to remember that we have our Prime Minister, and this our Prime Minister, his name is Maze Simon Ekpa. I want you to know that his name is Maze Simon Ekpa. And then I want you also to know that this our Prime Minister have somebody he respects, somebody he obeys, somebody he gets his own advice from. And that person, his name is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the me and the you are under the leadership of this our leader called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And we are not stopping at any point, at any time. We will continue until we get what we are looking for. Let me tell you something. Anybody you see running and then you run, you say, hey, I don't tire, oh, I don't tire. The person stop. The person wey dey pursue you go cut your neck comot. So before you stop, make sure say you don run comot for the level wey the person wey dey pursue you no go reach you. You don reach the promised salvation land. You sure say before you stop, you don reach the salvation land. That is it. So I greet all of you once again this evening. Make we first listen to small adverts before we move on.
Friends all over the world, let us continue to support Eastern Security Network and BIAFRA Liberation Army. Every day they stand in the gap to defend us and only need our support to do the work they do. For the safety, security, and freedom of our communities. Let us do this together. Go to www.ipobinUSA.org/DONATE. Also go to www.biafrarepublicgov.org/DONATE, where you can pay your liberation tax. We also accept donations on PayPal and Zelle. Just use the email address biafragov.org@gmail.com. For those in USA, we also accept donations or Cash App at $BIAFRAGOV. Freedom is not free, and together we restore it.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten that this have this song, and this song is not that friendly, and I don't know. Okay, we'll continue to listen. Let's go. All right, you are welcome. Maze Battlecry, do you want to greet Biafrans or should I go on?
Yes, let me greet them. All hail Biafra, all hail Biafra, all hail Biafra, wherever you are watching. Thank you very much for having me in the show. I'm still on the road to work, so it's not possible for me to get the full audience now to the viewers, but all the same, I thank you for your resolute. Thank you for coming on the show to give extensive gospel to the Biafran people. And the Biafran people, wherever you are watching, bear in mind that the person on the show is representing the Prime Minister. So pay him attention and give him a good audience. And I thank you from here. Good evening, all over the world. Thank you from me, from here. Good evening.
They were Chineke. They were. So Biafrans, we move. We move. And like I said before, today again, if you remember very well, today, Nigeria don't go disgrace themselves. I don't know the news where we go talk, leave the other one, because Nigeria don't go rub themselves 44 face. You know, they know they get shame at any moment, at any time. They are the people that don't have shame. They want to go and mingle among the people that are producing nation. They are not producing anything. Nigeria no they produce anything. The only thing Nigeria they produce na criminal. Nigeria they produce criminals. Nigeria breeds. When you hear our prime minister tell you that Nigeria breeds criminals, you may not understand. But the thing is that Nigeria breed criminals. So when you hear that, make you no marvel, no surprise. That is just the simple truth. So they go South Africa, may they go join BRICS, and then BRICS content them say you never qualify. Go and they build your own industry. You cannot listen. These are people that build exports. They build, they export. Yet, hi. And let me tell you, it is a shame. It is a shame. Before we move on, I would like us to just listen to this, listen to some videos before we go into the main. I don't know whether an exposition we could call them or the plans of these evil people. The plans of these useless, wicked people. Before we go on, I just want us to take a quick look into what they did today. So before we move on, I will just bring a little bit of it so we know where we are going from here. Okay, before we move on, let's see. Mazi Gaddafi is here. Mazi Gaddafi, just greet their France before we continue. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Go on.
Thank you, Biafrans. Thank you, lovers of freedom. I greet each and every one of you for coming. This is Biafra Republic Government in Exile Media Joint Broadcast. Please touch the like button so that you invite your brothers and sisters for them to hear what we have to say. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, ndewo mazi, ndewo. God bless you. Thank you for coming. Okay, now they say now, listen, they say now that Nigeria has gone to South Africa and disappoint themselves shamefully that Nigeria without the alliance of BRICS cannot withstand the bullying from the West African countries. They don't get anything again. West, not West African country, from the West, they have been rejected, they have been dejected, they have been thrown away. Listen now, I want you to remember and ask yourself, why do you think, what do you call them, BRICS will accept Nigeria? Nigeria is the only country in this world that forgives terrorists, that pardons terrorists and rehabilitate them under 2 weeks. They drop their gun under 2 weeks. They will be inducted into customs, police, army, immigration, offices of the ministerial offices, even to the point of deputy or director, controller general of customs. We see, we know, we hear. We know all these things in the videos full there. No even say na writings. Now videos. Shamelessly, they give us the videos. And Nigeria is the only country where the vice president died with the terrorists. The vice president died with the terrorists. Nigeria is the only country where the vice president will open mouth and say, don't fight the terrorists. They are our warriors. And nobody is doing anything. Nigeria is the only country where people can protest with flat cards and they will be killed. Nigeria is the only country where terrorists will protest for you to pay them their allowances. Nigeria is the only country that pay terrorists allowance monthly. Nigeria. So tell me, why do you think BRICS go carry them? BRICS is BRICS na BRICS na wait a minute, come just a moment. BRICS na I think Brazil, Russia, where again? I think China and the South Africa. I think 3 or 5 of them. Brazil, China, Russia, South Africa. Which country be I inside? I've forgotten. Somebody remind me. There's another country, I think.
It is India. India.
Thank you. I don't know say you did it. I think say you come out self. Thank you, my brother.
Brazil. I go collect advice from a madman.
Okay, now I make you come Sabiam. I will get Brazil, India, China, South Africa. So Nigeria won't enter. I got the answer, Gaddafi. If they take Nigeria inside, now it go become brink. Because if you put any, go become brinks. So now they say they are about to perish. So they say no, come on this name. No. If you put
247, you know, say they know that Nigeria is full of corruption. So they don't want people that are corrupt. And again, they know say their father is Britain. Russia and Britain that never go on the same route. So Nigeria was like a spy inside BRICS. So that they can never receive them. Rather, they will receive Biafra.
And another thing, yes, another thing, they are running there so that when they stay there, if they had it been said they accept them, when they did there, if Nigeria they talk of Biafra, they go tell Russia, China, Korea, no look them, lead these people, and they go say, since all of us there for the same club now, no problem, make you leave Biafra. They don't know say these people get plans. They know what they do. They want people that are willing to be developed. These people are not, they don't want to be developed. But let's just quickly listen to this news before we go on. Let's quickly listen to this news before we go on.
We be witnessing a new world order in the making. Leaders of the 5 BRICS nations have invited another 6 countries to join the alliance. Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates could become members next year, creating a bloc of desperate nations spanning a range of geography and economic development. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the decision on the final day of the BRICS summit in Johannesburg after hosting the leaders of Brazil, India and China. In the meantime, Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima was also at the summit's closing session, representing President Bola Tinubu. During his address, he said Nigeria is looking forward to working closely with BRICS members and other regional alliances to foster partnership that sustain growth. Take a listen.
We have consensus on the first phase of this expansion process, and other phases will follow. We have decided to invite the Argentine Republic, the Arab Republic of Egypt, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates to become full members of BRICS. The membership will take effect from the 1st of January 2024.
The prevailing theme of this summit, BRICS and Africa, partnership for mutually accelerated growth, sustainable development and inclusive multilateralism, resonates as a compass guiding the trajectory of the world. It underscores the profound realization that the cornerstone of stability within our intricate multipolar landscape lies in fostering developmental partnerships. Your Excellencies, the disruptive events of the past and present years have rendered emerging economies and many developing countries vulnerable, leaving them in search of beneficial alliances. But I assure you that Nigeria is committed to shaping and fortifying the global framework and governance concerning all major international issues, particularly in the fields of economics, finance, environment, climate change, bridging the digital divide, adopting a comprehensive strategy towards debt alleviation, addressing food and energy insecurities, instituting post-pandemic recovery measures, and fostering financial inclusion within developing countries. Your Excellencies, the international global governance structure to which we currently adhere was established prior to the independence of the African continent and many countries in the global south. So it's indeed imperative to reform global governance to align with the realities of today's world and to acknowledge the necessity for partnerships that ensure shared prosperity, inclusivity, and sustainable development. Your Excellencies, the trajectory of President Tinubu's economic reforms and diplomatic alliances is intended to attract investments and partnerships to Nigeria, while aligning with international and regional cooperation that corresponds with the government's objectives. The new government, which began less than 3 months ago, is examining the variables and evaluating the scope and level of regional and global cooperation to pursue in order to establish Nigeria as a desired friend and partner. The government's final decisions will be determined once our ongoing in-depth discussions within the Economic Advisory Council, the National Assembly, and the Executive Council are concluded and adopted.
¿Cómo enfriar su habitación rápidamente sin
Sorry about that. BRICS. You see this man go there, they read paper. It's not about coming to read paper. It's not about coming to read paper. BRICS is about what you can do for your nation. BRICS is about what your country can give. BRICS is about how are you willing to develop. BRICS is how do you want to develop your land? What industry are you bringing to your land? Nigeria is one of the most powerful oil producing countries. Yet they don't have oil. They don't have reserve. They don't have even refinery. They don't have petrol. So they don't have gas. They don't have oils in their filling stations. You want to go and join BRICS? Meanwhile, let us listen. Before we go to the main cocoa of the day, let us just run this. Let's listen to them.
Kashim Shettima speaking about the possible future of Nigeria with other BRIC nations. Well, for more on this, I'm joined live from our Lagos studios by Dr. Victor Ohai. He's a global affairs analyst. Dr. Ohai, good to see you and thanks for your time. It's almost 139 years since we saw the partitioning of Africa by Europe. Remember the Berlin Conference, which pitched Nigeria towards the West. 63 years, Nigeria has partnered with the West. What do you think about Nigeria's future, knowing full well of the benefit that South Africa is getting from the BRIC nations?
Well, thank you very much for that question. We were one of the 40-some countries that applied to members of BRICS. So clearly, it's something that we desire as a nation and that we would desperately want. As you know, the world shifted from bipolarity, which lasted between 1945 and 1989 with the collapse of the Soviet Union, to a unipolar system dominated by the US. What you now see is a situation where we're moving into a multipolar system now where the whole world, you can have a choice, basically. Unlike in the past where, as a country, if anything happens, because there was just one dominant power, you could be sanctioned. And you can see from the character of, or the makeup of the BRIC nation and even the new countries that have been admitted, with countries like, they have so many things in common, except for perhaps South Africa. But if you look at countries like Iran, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and the rest, these are people who have been browbeaten into falling in line, and both economically and in terms of security. For Nigeria, we need to be able to align with the new world order, if you ask me, because what has happened before has not really benefited us. It is unfortunate that we are always slow in taking decisions. I recall that on this same station, a while back, while the African Continental Free Trade Agreement was being negotiated, whereas Nigeria should have been at the table from the beginning, we were foot dragging, and then we started playing catch up later. Something we should have been right at the head of, so that we can dictate. Now, South Africa can decide when Nigeria can come in, and obviously they are now positioning themselves as a leader in the continent. So this is something that is desirable for us. I mean, if you look at one of the things that has destroyed our economy, as you and I know, is this issue of, if you recall, IMF with its conditionalities, from the time of Babangida, and then you talk about the World Bank, and all the structural adjustment policies that never really benefited us, but rather, caused our economy to plummet southwards. But now we can have, with the New Development Bank, you can see that they have no such conditions. They give you loans without determining how you must run your economy or what conditions you must meet or whether it must be friendly in certain areas or things that they want you to do, which may not have anything to do with finance or economy. So I think that for us, whether we like it or not, is a way to go. We'll have to bid our time and hope that we can lobby to join so that we have an alternative to just being victims of what the West has always been to us, dictating to us how we should rise, sit, sleep, or walk.
Well, Dr. Och, I think it's a big point you just raised, and if you don't mind, I want you to speak to this foot dragging, because Nigeria formally applied to join the BRICS nation since 2015.
I can't quite hear you. Please, could you speak louder?
Well, I'm quite sure that there must be some issue with your listening device. I hope you can hear us now if you can.
No, I can hear, but I can't hear you clearly. Please come again.
Well, Nigeria officially applied for membership of BRIC Nation in 2015, and that's also coming on the back of the AFDB. Speaking of the trade between BRICS and Africa, which rose to as much as $340 billion in 2012. Help us make sense of the future that this will help us form, especially knowing that one of the key benefits is winning off the dollar.
Okay, that's that's a very good question. As you know, we had attempted in the recent past to see how we could begin to toy with the idea of the Chinese currency, which shows clearly that the dollar is like some sort of yoke on our neck. We had toyed with the idea, but we probably did not handle it properly. We also toyed with the idea of the ECHO, but as usual, we were not proactive. We allowed the French take the carpet from under our feet. I think that it is important for us to be responsive and proactive in matters such as this. If we are able to win ourselves off the dollar, it would do us a lot of good. I see a situation where, if you look at what the BRICS countries are planning now, the BRICS plus, as the case may be at the end of the day, de-dollarization.
The bottom line is that Nigeria was bounced. They were kicked out. And I want you to know that Nigeria has never been invited to these BRICS. They never for once invited Nigeria. They no invite Nigeria come. Nigeria only went there, say, open door for me, I want to talk to you. They go there, talk, finish. They say, we no need you. Nigeria say, if you listen to that man, Shetima, as he was reading those papers, he read, say, we are ready to do business, do trade. What do you want to trade with China, with Russia, with Egypt, with Argentina, with Brazil? They don't need your oil. So what do you want to say to them? Because they are not interested in you coming to buy from them without you giving them something in return. No, they are tired of your oil. You only know how to carry your crude oil, crude oil. What are you bringing back in return? Like I always say, Nigeria is the only country that comes to your land and buy from you, and they will ship to their country. At the end, it's only money you are getting. They will pay you for the shipment of the goods to your land, and they will, what it resemble. Let me make it clear the way you go understand them, because when you see like Okada, you see keke now, you see keke where we say keke go, it go take like 5 hours to go from Surulere to Ikeja. And the Surulere to Ikeja, now to go and come back, if you go trip, come back, you go pay if keke carry you from Surulere, let's say Ojuelegba, he carry you reach Ikeja. If he carry you reach Ikeja, you go give him 5,000. Then if he carry you come back again, you go give him 5,000. Then as he carry you they go Ikeja, you go pay 5,000. But in this case, Nigeria, you go pay 10,000 cash. Because when he carry, he tell you say he no dey go Ikeja. Because passenger no dey for Ikeja. So for him to go to Ikeja, he is going to come back empty. Therefore, you are going to pay for double. You will pay for going and coming. Because he is coming back empty. He don't want to go to Ikeja. That is Nigeria for you. When you want to ship goods, even if you like buy new mint motor now, go buy Mercedes, new one, tear leather. You go put them for container, one ship and go Nigeria. You go pay for the shipment of the motor to Nigeria, and you go still pay for the ship coming back to Nigeria. Coming back, let's say you buy from Germany, you go Germany now, go buy new Mercedes Benz or BM, new one, Tiaroba, Audi. You are going to pay and you put it in container, put case, put them for container. You are going to pay for that motor going to Nigeria, one, and you are still going to pay that exact space of the container that the ship took to Nigeria. You will still pay again for that ship to bring that space back to Germany empty. That's Nigeria for you. Because the container you use to ship that motor to Nigeria is going to come back to Germany empty. You don't have anything you're going to put inside because you don't have anything to sell to Germany. You only have your corruption to sell. You only have your crude oil to sell. You only have your criminality to sell. You only have your defrauding people to sell. You only have halotry to sell. You only have snakes swallowing money to sell. Pythons swallowing money. Chetima sponsoring terrorists to sell. And they are not interested in your business. So that's why they don't want you, Nigeria. But the people will not want to say the truth. We will go over to the next topic. So, Mazi Gaddafi, I don't know if you want to say anything on this before we move on.
Yeah, you know, when we talk about the globalization of the world currently, you see that Nigeria is a parasite to BRICS. When we talk about the potentials of the nations that are members of the BRICS, you can see South Africa are manufacturing arms and ammunitions. South Africa manufactures a lot of things in South Africa. South Africa has a potential. You talk about India, you talk about Iran, you talk about China, you talk about Brazil. These nations has potentials. You know, they have something to bring to the table. Nigeria got nothing to bring to the table. Because when we talk about oil, Russia have a lot of oil, you know. Russia have a lot of oil. So on that, Nigeria is just like a parasite when we talk about BRICS. Because Nigeria has nothing to contribute. They got nothing on the table. That is why you see most of whatever Nigeria can produce is the only thing Nigeria can produce is corruption and criminality and sponsoring of terrorism. That is the only thing. And when you talk about the new world order of today, is no longer a place where you become a parasite, where you become a stumbling block, or how will I put it, where you have nothing to the table. If you look at it very well, now let me ask you, Nigeria imports toothpick. Nigeria imports toothpick. Nigeria imports things that are as common as toothpick. So when you see that, you can see that Nigeria joining BRICS is I put it as a parasite. Nigeria joining BRICS is dragging them dragging them down. So the best thing is for Biafra that has potential. That you can see that during Biafran War, Biafra manufactured the arms that was used to withstand the war for three years. So when we talk about people that qualify for that kind of organization, Nigeria is out of the way because Nigeria had nothing on the table. What is oil? We're not talking about oil. When we talk about human capacity, you see that the Biafra has it. Biafra has something on the table. You understand? And there is a particular thing that Nigeria can be considered if possible, but due to Nigeria doesn't possess this particular thing. So for that reason, it is Biafra is more positioned than Nigeria joining the BRICS. If you bring Nigeria and you bring Biafra, BRICS will welcome Biafra instead of Nigeria because Nigeria only breeds criminalities. Thank you. Go.
Yes, Gaddafi, our PM is now live on Twitter. So I think, yeah.
Okay, you can switch on live on Twitter so that we can.
Do we stop this one to start another one? It will be based. Let it be just purely our Prime Minister.